Hi, this is Mr. Impossible with Mr. Impossible's Baccarat and Roulette system. People, I want to tell you something that may be very hard for you to believe. But I am officially the very, very first person in all of recorded history to actually crack the code to the game of Baccarat and Roulette in terms of a coin toss. Player, banker in Baccarat, red, black. In Roulette, pass, don't pass, craps, odd, even with dice, heads, tails with a quarter. I am the very, very first one and only one in all of recorded history, at least 5 centuries, to actually crack the code to this game and these games. I'm the very first one who did it. I'm actually in talks with the Guinness Book of World Records to have it verified. Let me see. Some other stuff I won't get into right now. Well, basically, I'm looking to sell, in a nutshell, I'll get into it for a second. In a nutshell, I'm looking to sell the priceless and valuable exclusive rights and proprietary ownership of the confidential intellectual property for possibly $1 billion to somebody who has that kind of money. You know, someone like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, most likely wealthy casino owners, most likely, or maybe an Asian businessman or businesswoman who understands the value of the pearl of wisdom. To make a long story short, I'm the very first person who did it. The system is not for sale unless people pay that kind of money, you know, $1 billion or more. If somebody's listening right now who's a multimillionaire and you have, say, $1 million after taxes, you know, ask me and I'll probably make an exception. I won't sell the rights to you or the proprietary ownership of the intellectual property, but I will sell you the system. You would have to sign a confidentiality and non-disclosure form. But, you know, if you pay that kind of money, it's pretty safe that you're only going to keep it to yourself. You're not going to tell anyone. And you shouldn't tell anybody, because if it gets out there, you know, it will get out there to all of humanity. Even people who don't play will make an exception and start playing if they knew it was a sure thing. Now, here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to do for you, okay, if you're interested. I will sell you for this is like an extremely valuable. It's so valuable nobody could even afford it, but I'm going to put it up on eBay so that the average person can buy it, not the system, but what I'm going to do for only $1,199.99. The reason for the odd number is because after eBay takes their cut, I'm left with approximately $1,000 even. What I will do for you is I will sell you the components to the system. I will not arrange it for you and put it together for you, okay? But I will sell you the components to the system. You have to try and put it together yourself. You probably will be able to do it. If you don't do it 100%, you'll probably be able to do it 90-something%, which will be good enough. And you can keep working on it. There's a certain thing that I'm not going to divulge, I'm just not going to say anything, but I will give you all the components to the system, and you would have to put it together yourself. It's almost like, here's all the pieces of a model, okay? And if you paid $1 million, I'll sit there and I'll teach you how to put the model together perfectly, okay? But for $1,199.99, I'm not going to teach you how to put the model together, but I'm going to give you the model and all the pieces. Okay, does that make sense? If that's, for lack of a better analogy. Okay, and again, it's not, hundreds of pieces like a model might be, but I will give you all the components, and you have to put it together yourself. I also have the system belonging to the richest, wealthiest Baccarat roulette player in the world. I will throw that in for free. It's $1 million system. I'll throw it in complimentary. I also have a really, really phenomenal money management system. The best money management system in the world. I have two. One is my own, and one's another one that's the best money management system in the world that most people don't know and most people have never heard of. Like if you were to search it on YouTube, it wouldn't come up. Other money management systems, if you search on YouTube, it'll come up and there's like 100 videos teaching you how to do it, from, Labouche to D'Alembert and all sorts of money management systems, but this one never comes up. It's the best in the world. It's very, very easy. Okay, so you will get one heck of a package course and program. I also have the best flat betting, well, not just the best, I have the best and only flat betting system in the world that works long term. Okay, I have the only one. This has been my life's work for decades. This is very, very valuable information that I will sell to you for only about $1,000. Okay, so go in the comments column down below, click on the link, go to eBay, don't procrastinate. It's an investment. It's an investment. Click on the button. Just click on the button, get the information, you'll be on your way. And when I told you I'm the first and only person, I, Mr. Impossible, am officially the very, very first and only person in all of recorded history to crack the code to the game of Baccarat and Roulette, basically to crack the code to a coin toss that most people thought was impossible, but I respect you. All of you who play, because most of us believe that it is possible, and it turns out that it is. I told a former customer of mine that I cracked the code, and he said something really, really beautiful to me. He says it's really, really good to know that it is possible and that it was possible to crack, and that all of humanity wasn't just, chasing after wind and chasing something that was impossible, that it was actually possible to do. And I just thought that was so beautiful that he said that, because it's not just me who did it, it's all of you and all of humanity. To be honest with you, like I'll take the credit to an extent, but at the same time, I give all of us credit, all of humanity, including myself and all of humanity. It's like one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. We did it. We did it together. I couldn't do it without you, and I wouldn't want to. I'm glad that we have God. I'm glad that we have people on this earth whose souls are made in the likeness of God, the infinite creator, that we can create. And without getting into it, that's how it was done, to be honest with you. People have this argument between science or God and spirituality. It was done with both, people. Do you know what a pearl of wisdom is? This is a pearl of wisdom that I'm telling you. It was done with both. Science wants testing. Those of you who are listening right now who play, and we sit there and practice all day and all night, which is essentially testing. Yeah, we test the life out of this. We've tested the life out of this. Yes, it was done through testing, but not just testing. Then eventually I did something. I had to become a total renunciate, people. I didn't do this to beat a coin toss. I did this to have God. But interestingly enough, my whole life was God and spirituality. And what I did on the side was play Baccarat and Roulette. That's what I did for fun, amongst other things. But this is one of the biggest ones. I had fun. We had fun trying to beat the coin toss. And one of us freaking did it. We all did it. But my point is, it was done. I had to become a total renunciate. I had to become highly spiritual, not religious. Religious is a hindrance. It's like a big Hoover Dam that's clogging up our harmonious flow. I had to get away from the ideology of religion and return to spirituality. Get highly spiritual. I had to become a total renunciate. Pray the rosary, meditate, practice the power of now by Eckhart Tolle, say mantras, affirmations, do, everything. And then soon after I became a total renunciate, I cracked the code. But what I did the day before, which is the craziest thing, is I basically put my two fingers, my thumb and either my pointer finger or middle finger or ring finger or two of the, fingers over my solar plex on my chest, kind of over, over my heart almost. Not to the left, but in the middle. And I basically started associating myself with the true self of my being, which is the soul. And I said, for it is truly the self, the soul, my soul, that's made in the likeness and image of God, that is within, that's not something I have, but who I am, that's permanently self-implanted and permanently self-immortalized into the heart of gold of the Almighty God, that is absolutely, totally, completely, and absolutely one with the Almighty God. And I did this, I said this like an affirmation or a mantra sincerely about 25 times or 20 to 30, maybe 40 times. I did this and I started visualizing like gold light coming out from within my chest, kind of like if you've ever seen the movie E.T. and the gold light comes out from his chest. But gold, and I imagine myself to be in like a room with all mirrors. And out of my peripheral vision, not looking straight directly into the mirrors, I could see out of the corner of my eye the gold light. But I would focus on it from within me. Okay, and I had my fingers over my heart, over my sternum or solar plex. And I just tapped into the way that gold of my soul felt within me. And I could feel it. I was going by feel, like they say in spirituality, don't think, feel. Okay, and this is what I did. And the very next day, basically what happened is I let go of my ego. Not completely, but significantly. And what else did I do? I let go of my ego significantly. And I in doing so, I became a little bit more spiritually enlightened. I attained some consciousness, awareness. That's what consciousness means. And the very next day, people, I cracked the code. Did you ever see the opening of the TV show Kung Fu with David Carradine, who played the character Kwai Chang Caine? And the master said, the day you could snatch the pebble from my hand, you are ready. And then he tried snatching the pebble over time. And then one day, like the master would open his hand up and the pebble was still there. And then one day, when he got a little older and better, he snatched the pebble and the master opened his hand and there was no pebble in there. And then Kwai Chang Caine, Kung Fu, we call him, opened his hand and there was the pebble. And I realized, get this, that was my Kwai Chang Caine moment. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I remembered in The Karate Kid when Mr. Miyagi said, he or man who can fly with chopstick can accomplish anything. And then just then the Karate Kid goes, snap, and catches the fly in the chopsticks. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was my fly in the chopsticks moment, my pebble in the hand moment. And I researched it on the computer, and it's an old Asian great spiritual truth, and it applies to Christianity, especially now, because I did it. I'm Christian, and Christianity is a Jewish religion. I'm not Jewish, but it's a Jewish religion, so we can also take credit. Christians and Jews can now have a story to tell that's consistent with Buddhism, Taoism, with Lao Tzu, Confucius, Shintoism. Spirituality is spirituality. It's all the same. No matter what religion you have or what name of your religion it is, it's like math works a certain way no matter what language you speak or what race or nationality you are. It's the same thing. It doesn't change. Same with spirituality. It's not different. People just think it's different because they describe it in a different way. And they just explain things in the same. They explain the same things in a different way. That's what these high masters do. That's all they explain the same thing in a different way as all the gurus do. From Jesus to Moses to the Buddha and Lao Tzu and Krishna and everyone. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that story. I devote it to God, to the self-devotion, to thine own self be true. I give the credit to the self. The soul is already one with the source of all creation. It's already one. When Jesus Christ said, I and my Father are one, all he did was realize what already is. Do you see what I'm saying? It already is. He just self-realized the supreme truth of what is. You and I and all people are as one with God as Jesus Christ and all the high masters and exalted ones and the saints and the angels. We're all just as one here and now as they are. The only difference between them and us is they fully self-realized it. They attained total consciousness and became totally self-aware of the supreme truth. There's no difference between you and I and Jesus Christ and all of these people. They just attain total consciousness of what is, or what, so that you would understand what already is. It's like the law of gravity already is. It was already on long before the apple ever fell off the tree and hit Sir Isaac Newton on the top of the head. Do you see what I'm saying? The law of gravity already is. It was already there. Somebody once said to me, what if God, had a button he could push? And I said to him, the button's already pushed. We just have to believe it. Even if you don't know it, you have to have a faith that's so confident like you do know it. And then you will self-realize what already is. Now, you got to know, if I know this insight and information, I must have been a little bit enlightened. And you might be sitting there going, by golly, this guy may have actually cracked the code. This kid, I'm not a kid anymore. It's probably, by golly, he probably did it. I did. I mean, you can't be sitting there talking like, kung fu here, with that, if you didn't do something. I had to become enlightened in order to do this, but it was done through the holy science. It was both testing, something's testable, repeatable, and verifiable, and it was the spirituality. It was both. I mean, think about it. In order for us to create things in life, to do things in life, it is both. It is both things. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that. So if you want to get all the properties of the system, I can tell you all the properties of the system. If you figure it out, do not tell anyone. This will shut down 90% of all the games and all the casinos forever, for good. It's like the scene in the movie Jurassic Park when Jeff Goldblum said scientists were so preoccupied, when they brought the dinosaurs back from DNA. Scientists were so preoccupied on wondering whether or not we could, and never stopped to think whether we should. Because all of us are trying to find out whether we could, and then finally somebody does it, and then they realize what the consequences are. The benefits are great for me. And anybody who pays me $1 billion, some people, Asian business people, probably would never even step foot in a casino and use it. They would just know what it is, put it in their vault as a pearl of wisdom, like, the Raiders of the Lost Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail. They would treat it like that. They would never even use it in a casino. Definitely not abuse it, that's for sure. That's what it is a pearl of wisdom. So anyway, my point was about Jurassic Park, all of us being so preoccupied on trying to figure out whether or not we could, we never stopped to think whether we should. Because then it would shut down 90% of all the table games in the casino. It would shut down all of these games. Baccarat and Roulette. It would shut them all down. That's 90% of all the table games. They'd have to take don't pass off of craps. It would shut them all down, costing all of those casinos trillions and trillions of dollars over time. And it would take away all the fun that we're trying to have. So if you don't get angry at it, you can actually have fun trying to beat the coin toss. It's kind of fun if you don't get angry at it. It's tough to not do that. It's frustrating. Trust me, I know. Everybody knows. But now that I did it, I was like, oh my gosh, Here's the funny thing. You might be saying, hey, go into the casino and play it. I'm working on it. I tested paper played, which is pretend playing, also known as ghost playing, virtual playing. I have a method in my madness. Here's the thing. If I could be open with you, I'll just tell you. I had to become a total renunciate for my religion and my spirituality. Think about that for a second. I had to become, this is the irony of it, I had to become a total renunciate, which means I can't game. Think about that for a second. I paused to put a little silence there. I can't game. I can't use my very own system. I can't do it. What if Kwai Chang Caine snatched the pebble and he went out into the world and started living it up with sex, drugs, and rock and roll? That would be wrong. You can't do that. You would get such bad consequences you wouldn't even believe. It'd be like the Jews and the Romans crucifying their Messiah, Jesus Christ, and then sometime later the Jews have Hitler and the Nazis, and the Romans have the fall of Rome. That's called mass karma. That's what happens when we go back on our stuff. We can't go back on it. I can't even play the system that I cracked. So that's why I'm looking to sell it for so much money. Okay, so I told you. But I will sell you the components. I will not put it together for you, my friend. But if you want to have all the components to the system for only about $1,000, it's a chance of a lifetime. You don't need to do any other combinations of things. There's only one combination that will crack the code. It's like life in this world. The only thing that we've never tried, we've tried in every way, shape, fashion, and form to have world peace. There's only one thing. And that's the ultimate thing that people have to find out. And when you find that out, you are ready and you will no longer reincarnate anymore. We can reincarnate anywhere from 500,000 times to as much as billions and billions of incarnations. That's the apocalyptic truth. It's not just one little lifetime where you have, a billion little babies who were miscarried or died at birth or died of SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, billions and billions of little babies over time and little toddlers and, not to mention all the people who never lived to see the age of 10. You think they never incarnate and have life like us? Of course they do. Of course they do. Who do you think they all are? They're all of us. They're you and I and everybody on this earth all reincarnated. I remember before I was born, people, I remember getting back from my last lifetime. And I remember, the thing I remember most, I remember getting back from my last lifetime or incarnation. The thing I remember most of all is that I never equated it to reincarnation, but that's exactly what it was. I didn't believe in reincarnation in that particular lifetime. I didn't believe in it in this one. But I remember we do this, come into this world. I didn't use the word reincarnation because it looks totally different than what you would think or expect reincarnation to be. We just come into the world and have lifetimes and incarnations. The thing I remember most, we do this countless times. Countless times. And you know who I might be? I might be the man who invented the game of Baccarat. I might be the one who invented it 5 centuries ago, before Christopher Columbus. I may have been him. It's possible I may not have been him. But hey, I wasn't going to tell you the whole story, but I decided to tell you. I hope you have an appreciation for it, people. I really, really do. This is a pearl of wisdom. If you want to know more wisdom like this, get the Conversations with God audiobooks by Neale Donald Walsch. I recommend the audiobooks for you to listen to over and over and over. You could get the physical books, but you can listen to the audiobooks over and over and over and over. Physical books, I don't know if people want to read over and over and over. It's kind of hard work, time-consuming. But if you want to hear pearls of wisdom like that, get those books. Conversations with God, Book 1, Conversations with God, Book 2, Conversations with God, Book 3. Remember the audiobooks that you listen to by Neale Donald Walsch, Neale, Donald Walsch, and other great books on spirituality. So here's, looking at you. We did it. I did it. I, Mr. Impossible. Some people may have chuckled about Mr. Impossible and Mr. Impossible's Baccarat and Roulette system. There's a bunch of system developers out there. Some people may have chuckled here and there about me, disrespected me or whatever. Guess what? It's myself. It's I, Mr. Impossible, from Mr. Impossible's Baccarat and Roulette system, that was the one who cracked the code to Baccarat and Roulette, who cracked the code to a coin toss. So go down in the comments column, click on that button, go to eBay, click on the button. It's about a little over $1,000. It's an investment. And keep this knowledge to yourself. Don't tell anyone. Please. Okay, we are morally obligated to not even tell anybody that you even have anything like this. I shouldn't even be saying what it is that I'm saying right now. I did a video right after I cracked the code, and I took it down like an hour later, or like the very next day or something like this, or a few hours later. I was like, wait a second, But I decided to put it back up right now, and that's all I have to say. Go in the comments column down below, click on the link, take you to eBay. Don't procrastinate. Click on that, and you will be on your way, because as I was saying, there's only one combination that works. I have it all. Okay, and you'll get them all. And in life, there's only one combination that works. It's love. Love is our law, and being highly spiritual with no institution of religion, and living by the golden rule. Other than getting highly spiritual, there's only two things we need to know and to do. Leave people alone and tell the truth. Like it says in the Bible, can you find just one honest man? Leave people alone and tell the truth. I'm Mr. Impossible, and this has been Mr. Impossible's Baccarat and Roulette system. Thank you.